Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lzaicher Nishmas Mordechai. Joel Meisels, good morning. First, I'd like to thank everybody in the team, of course, the rabbi himself, for helping me to accomplish my most meaningful year ever. You hear? His most meaningful year ever. And then he goes on to say that he wishes that we had a pointer to where we are after I say a story or a joke, so he knows where to go back in the Gemara. We're working on that. I don't know what's taking so long. Be'ezer Hashem. Rabbi Sai, because it's Aser Semei Tshuva, I want to tell you about this new initiative that we started at the Siyum at Bellworks. It was a little bit of a weak start, and we're hoping to do a little bit better. So let me show you this video, and I'll explain a little bit more. Basically, it's monthly giving. So you give a little bit of tzedakah. Now we're assessing tshuva. What better time to give tzedakah? And what better cause than to get other people to learn Torah? So check out this video. Don't make fun of Yosef Klein. He's a gewaldige guy. He has a big company, and he puts more than 50% of his day into MDY to give back. Check this video out. Rabbi Sai, I'm always asked the question, why does MDY need so much money? It's only a shear online. The answer is, this past year, MDY spent over $1 million. And it's all for one thing. It's all to spread Torah and give people geschmack in Torah, to be mekarev kroivim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yes, you heard it well. We have to pay still the mortgage for the Bismillah. We have to pay utilities. We have a person that does the charts. We have marketing. We have the gemudas. We have the tablets, the expenses. Sometimes we need to pay for props. Yingelat that help out with the shir in Koilo, a bookkeeping department, the video editor, tech department. We have people on payroll. We need a new CRM system. We want to develop a new app. We want to redo the whole website.
This year has changed my life in a tremendous way.
It's over $1 million a year for what? To bring another person closer to Torah. Your dollar amount will go towards the cost of changing people's life. This is the only reason why the world is still standing, because of Torah.
I personally believe that this is one of the best tzedakahs a person can give his money to. How else can you achieve such a great mitzvah where you're encouraging another yid to learn Torah, and through that, it changes his life. He becomes a better yid, a more geschmacky yid, a better husband, a better businessman, etc. You give a guy a Gemara, and he joins the daf, and his life just makes a 180.
If everybody could be mishtatef together, come together, give even small amounts, we can hit another 20,000 people, another 20,000 neshamas that we could hit that will experience the beauty of the daf.
I'm asking you to be a shutaf in this unbelievable endeavor.
When I think about $10 a month, it's not something that I'm giving because I have to. It's something that I want to give. It's an opportunity for me to give this money to the shir and as hakarat hatov to Rev Eli for all that he does.
Give your money, give your extra maser, and Hashem will pay you back kifle kiflaim with all the bruchas that says in the Torah.
Please go to www.mdymonthly.com. Put down a donation there. Whether it's $10 a month, $36 a month, $100 a month, whatever you can do to help give back to the shir, to help grow the shir.
So thank you for your support and have a wonderful day. Shkoyach. Okay, so Rabbi Sai, what we're going to do is as follows. I thought, based on the Avi Mandelbaum model, so Be'ezer Hashem, whoever donates money for the next month, I will announce their name in shir. We'll make a whole thing out of it. And we have to set a goal. I want to do small goal, $10,000 a month. So if we could be mishtatev, for those who could afford it, yes. But collectively, as a group, $10,000. I think we could beat it, but a modest goal of 10,000. All right, so if anybody in the room wants to be mishtatev, I will take the donations now. We'll make a big deal out of it. No? Anybody? $10. The little guy has to say first. Okay, get over it. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Shui Vilensky. $10. Why $10? Why are you giving us? What's pshat?
I love MDY and I want to give back.
Ooh! He loves MDY and he wants to give back. Wow! Yeshua Valencia, Shkoyach Gadol. What's this? He has 4 kids, $1 a day, 120.
Now you have change.
Now I have change. What? A month? You're going to do this every month?
For the coming year.
For the coming year. But you know what happens? We trick you. You get in there with you put in your credit card and then it goes to the next year. And you have to cancel 30 days before if you don't give it to again. What's your name? Shalom Aleichem. We met already, no? Shimi Braun. From? Straight from the airport, before the Kaisel, of course. I'm not encouraging you, Chas Shalom, but... Wow, Yishkoyach Gadol. Anybody else? $26 a month from Reb Moshe Zeret. Anybody? I don't want to take from you. $10,000 a month, you said? No, how much?
$50 a month.
$50 a month from Avi Kamiansky. Yishkoyach Gadol. Okay, we're ready. How much? We're already halfway there. Menachem Mateh. How much do you want to give a month? He wants to think about it, but you're going to give. Okay, Yishkoyach. Mendy? $36 a month. Kids, I know what that is. It's the whole rental of the car. Okay, Givaldik. By the way, I want to give this back to you as a matana, and you're supposed to tell me that you want to be mishamet. I'm paying. No, I'm sorry. I'm paying back my loan. I'm paying back my loan, and you're supposed to say no. Shmid is mishamet.
Right.
But I said, but I want you to take it anyways as a gift. And then you say, okay. Shkoyach. And now you can give that back to him. No, it's fine. Anybody else here in the room that wants to be mishamet a month? $1, even $1 a month. You're on the video, so knew how much? $1 a day. That's a lot. That's $30 a month. You sure? There's 365 days a year, I think. Unless it's an Iber yard, then it's 300. No, I'm just kidding. A shekel a day? Shekel a day. All right. Beautiful. Yishkoyach Gadol. We'll make a whole thing out of it. You're going to be... Anybody else? Nehemiah, you want to do something? Where would he give you Meiser money to?
I give anyway.
That's right. Okay, fine. We're not going to hold up the Olam. Yishkoyach, thank you very much. And Be'ezer Hashem, the guys online, they're going to jump in here. We're going to update the Olam. We have to get to 10,000. 10,000 will be beautiful. How much did we do today? What is this? How much is it a month for you?
Can we donate a boat or a car?
120 a month. 120 plus 50 is 170. A shekel, I have no idea. Plus this is 200. 210. Okay, not bad. How much? $18 a month. Yishkoyach Golomoid. You taking down names? $18 a month. Raise your hand. Who's gonna take? I don't know how to do this. Okay, fine. Avi. Oh, Rabbi Greenman, you wanna? What do you? Oh, Benny. All right. Zokte Gemara. Oh, real quickly, I thought this was a very cool email that somebody, when I said over the story from Reb Chaim Kanievsky, that they want to kick his grandson out of yeshiva because they made a condition that you can't come to yeshiva unless you promise that you're not going to get engaged at a young age. And Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, so you asked me, I think, about the Shabbos, is it a Ma'aseh Shahaya? So I said, even if it's not a Ma'aseh Shahaya, it's possible, it's a doable. All my Ma'ases could be true, even if they're not true. The author of the book about Rebbe Kanievsky, and he's writing the book on Reb Chaim Kanievsky, wrote into me, and he says, it is a true Ma'aseh. I heard it from Reb Chaim Kanievsky himself. Oh, Ma'aseh. This is from Reb Naftali, what's his last name? I forgot, the Weinberger or something like that. I'm an avid listener of your shir. Thanks for the geschmack in the daf. I've never contacted my esteemed Rebbe with corrections. The story you said last night is 100% true. Okay, B'kitzer, the author himself. And then we have another guy here that just wrote that saying thank you when you get a loan is akar satoiv, and that's mutter. You're just not allowed to say, you're not allowed to give a bracha, you're not allowed to say shkoyach, you're not allowed to do things like that, but to say thank you as akar satoiv in the famous Maisa. Okay, we'll go into different. The Koil is sponsored for the success of my family that we merit to always crown Hashem. The Masechta is sponsored Eli Nishmas Yosef Baruch ben Moshe Aaron, Eli Nishmas Moshe Elazar ben Nata Shalom. Ever hatzlacha b'chol hanyonim for my children. The second Masechta sponsored Jeff Rosner in zchus my son Yosef Simcha Chaim ben Chana. The matzav is terrible, so we need a Refuah Shlaima. Amen. The rest of the Masechta, Ofishel Mitzva Motivators, Avraham Manasseh ben Chana Brocha, Refuah Shlaima. The Paras HaChodesh, Eli Nishmas Zchus ben Moshe. Paras HaChodesh, last day, the MDY Family. Eli Nishmas Ezra Yaakov ben Isanol Yitzchak, his Neshama Shanan ben Aliyah, Mishpacha, should have an achama. Ezra Pollak, Shalom. The third sponsor of the month by the Lock and Lebovic family is Lakewood, New Jersey, because Torah is the best gula. Fourth parnas, Refuah Shlaima, Yecheskel ben Leah. Fifth parnas is zchus, that Hashem should watch over me and ensure that I'm completely healthy ad mea ve'esrim. The first parnas hayoy, Mordechai Sapoznick, Lzaicher Nishmas, my great grandfather, Horav Elchonon Zev, Horav Elchonon Zev, ben Horav Binyomin Avrohom Yaakov, Zchus, Baruch. May his neshama have an aliyah, and maybe Melitz Yosef for the entire mishpacha and for all of Klal Yisroel. Avi, maybe people on Zoom want to pipe in and say how much they want to give a month. Sammy Tzipora Joseph, in honor of Boisai, AB, the kid that stumped me in Chicago. AB's first Hanachas Tefillin today. And for Refuah Shlaima, for all of Klal Yisroel, and for my son, Aaron Simcha ben Kesinya. Put on Zoom. It's very late. It is 33. Put on Zoom for a second. You have Zoom? Rabbi Isai in Zoom. Does anybody want to give to the monthly giving? And if you do, just go to the website MDY. You came in the middle of the video, so you missed. Okay, it's over $1 million is our budget. So if you could foot it, but it's over $1 million that we spent this year. Why? It's in the beginning of the video. Next. So who's waving? Every wave like this is $20. How many waves? Oh, that's $100, that guy. Okay, we have a bunch of guys. So maybe give it to Mark Ashkenazi. Mark Ashkenazi will send it to Avi, and we'll announce it a little later when we have time here. But boys, we have a lot of stories today. We have close to 10 stories in the Gemara. It happens to be that 3 of the stories are word for word, the same exact story, so we have 22 lines of freebie on Amud Beis. Says the Gemara, 4 lines from the bottom of Peidal on Amud Beis. Yemar bar Chashu, there's a person by Yemar bar Chashu, have a masik be'zuzi b'ahu gavra, somebody owed him money, shachiv, that person died, the person that owed the money, shavik arba, and he left the boat. He sends a messenger, Zil tafsil in Allah, go out into the river and grab the boat. Today, they do it a lot with airplanes. The wealthy people have a private jet, they go, they chap the jet. Or other types of things. Boats, yachts. Azul tafsa, maybe to close that window a second. It's the only one that's open here. By the way, I was thinking, I told somebody on Rosh Hashanah, he opened up the window next to him. I said, you remind me of the story of the guy that dug a hole in his boat, in his room. He said, no, it's only for me. Yeah, but when you open up the window, not you, Chas from the Rosh Koilel, but the system works on one thing. So when you open up the window, I know you want a little ear, but it ruins the whole system. I made him feel really good on Rosh Hashanah. Zokti Gemara. And then he went and he broke that light over there. I don't know what happened. That was last night, Meir. All right, fine. Poga ozal tafsa. So the shliach who has no connection to anything, he doesn't owe any. Nobody owes him money. Nothing. He goes and grabs a boat. Pogu Bey Rav Papa Rav Huna Bereder Yeshua, the famous Rav Papa Rav Huna Bereder Yeshua. They bump into him. Amrulei at toifes lebachov b'mokim shechav lacherim. What are you doing? You're doing Reuven a favor, but by doing Reuven a favor, you're ruining it for everybody else. So yesterday in the Koil, they had a beautiful shaila. I thought it was fascinating. I never thought about it. You get on a bus. I've never been on a bus in Eretz Yisrael. But you get on a bus, and I used to do this, grab 3 seats for your family. They're coming on later. That's a shaila of Yutoifes b'mokim shechav la'acherim. Even if they paid for their seat, do you have a right? Who are you to grab a seat for somebody else? Maybe there might be a minhag makam and something that overrides that. But why in the world do you have a right to grab a seat for somebody? We take it for granted. I'm grabbing for my wife, my children. They're making it. They're coming soon. Well, that guy also paid for a ticket and he wants that seat. There's no empty seats. No empty seats. No empty seats. But why? How do I have a right to grab something to think about? Just something to think about in this sugya. That guy comes and grabs a boat. How do you have a right to grab a boat? He sent me. So what? That guy owed 5 other people money. Guess what? He's one of these guys that borrows a lot of money from people. When you grab for somebody that has a chayiv, when it's not good for somebody else, like Chana, it doesn't work what you were kind of the boat. Says the Gemara, Tafsu Inu, comes Rav Papa and Rav Huna. I'm just picturing this. These are G'dayla Adar. They're grabbing, they care about money all of a sudden. It's very interesting. There's a whole Torah about it, that money that Talmid Chacham, Chavim, Yosef, Gufam, because Baruch gave them this thing to do mitzvahs, so that they have to be very careful with it. Okay, They go ahead and they grab the boat. They had similar things in Eretz Yisrael. If you buy apartments on paper, it's a very dangerous thing. You have to know what you're doing. Some companies go belly up before they get an apartment. There's a whole story with Chefziba, thousands of hundreds, I don't know what it was. A lot of people lost a lot of money. So right before, there was some people ran to grab their apartments. They took it as is, just as what is it called? The shellet. How do you say shellet in English? And they moved in, and the banks couldn't get them out, and they were typhus. There's such a thing as tfisa. Okay. Rapapa Mimlach Maluche. Very interesting. Rapapa took the rows and he started rowing it. Rav Huna bereid Rav Yeshua mematachlo ba'ashla. Rav Huna grabbed the rope and he started pulling it. Each one wanted to grab the boat for himself. Two Amoraim fighting over money. Interesting. Maramano kanila kula. Rapapa says, I grabbed the whole thing, it's mine. Umar Rav Huna says, Ano kanila kula. Pagur Rav Pinchas Barami bumps into them another Amoira. What's wrong with you? We learned yesterday, when can you be kaina something from the estate? If it's in the Rosh Hashanah and nobody has any shaykhs to it. But if the boat is on the shore, it's tied to the dock, who's kaina it, Rabbi Yisai? The Yisaimim. You have no right to grab it. We were grabbing it from the middle of the river. It wasn't a Rishus Hayach. It wasn't like a Simcha. We had the concept of the Simcha here, just to remind everybody the picture. When you go, it's in Rishus Hashanah, but a little bit to the side. You can make a canyon over there. No, that's not what happened. We grabbed it from the middle where there's with waves, currents. That's already Rishus Hashanah. We have the zchus to be kind. Also, I made the Rava. Here's a picture. White swans, you're removing clothing from people. If you look in the Gillian Ashas on the side here, he says that in Brachas of Nun Zayin, if they show you a swan in your dream, that's Yitzapel Chachma. So that's why I brought the picture here. I think if I tell you guys, do not think about this picture, don't think about it, you will think about it, you might dream about it, and Memela, you'll be Chachamim tomorrow. Zok Gemara. So, another thing is, Kaki Chivre means that they're older geese. You look like old men. Geese are white beards. That's why I use that lashon. That's the simple pshat. The Belzer Chassid told me a beautiful pshat. I think it's his own pshat. He said, wait a minute, Rava is their Rebbe. So Rava is calling his Talmidim, Kaki Chivre, you're old men. And what about him? He's older than them, so he must be a super, super old man. That doesn't make sense. So he says, because the Gemara in Eruvin, Daf Nun Vav, says that whoever lives in a place that has valley, mountains and mountainous area, hard trekking, you become older in half your days. So the Gemara says that Rav Huna, he lived in Narash, and he says, like me, I live in Narash, so Mela, so basically, he says Mefurish, I lived there, and Rav Papa lived with him in Narash, and therefore they looked old before their days, and that's why he used that lashon. If you're an old man, you don't tell a guy you're old. You look young, and you look old even though you are young because you lived in Narash. Okay, I thought it was interesting. If you know Shas like that, then what? He does? Sorry, he chapped it from the art scroll. He doesn't know what that sefer is. What? Skenim hoyu. He's mechulik on Rashi. Okay, I hear. Givaldi. Okay, so forget. Good thing I said it's the Belzer, not my own Torah. Out the window. First of all, the Arshko brings it. Second of all, he's medayik in Rashi that skenim hoyu. They're already hoyu. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara that like the guy used to take over for me in Chicago on Shabbos when I gave the shir. He was Israeli. I told you this. So if somebody would look in the Arshko and ask him a kasha, he would say, if you got the kasha from the article, look in the article for the teretz. So I'm going to tell the Belzer, we have a kasha from Rashi over here. Maybe the article will answer your kasha. Okay. Zok the Gemara. Omar, no. You have to grab it when the guy's still alive. Why do you have to grab it when the guy's still alive? Because if he's dead, then it already goes to the Yarshim. They already chap it. So Mela, you have to grab it when you're alive, when he was alive, and it's too late now. Says the Gemara, he owed money to somebody in Beichoza. So he sent, he's a good guy. He sent to pay back the Chayiv. Ozo Parinu. So the Shliach went and he paid off the Chayiv. And he pays it off. He says to the guy, no, give me the document. Omerlei Sitroi Ninu. You paid me? Oh, but you paid me for another loan that we didn't even have a chayiv. You didn't have a chayiv. A star. We didn't have a star. Milval pet. Interesting story. Ma'aseh Shaya. A guy goes to somebody, says, you want to buy my bike? I have an electric bike. I'll sell it to you for 2,000 shekel. Usually costs 4,000 shekel. Sell it 2,000. The guy says, good idea. Takes out 2,000 shekel from his pocket, gives him the 2,000. So the guy looks at him and says, thank you very much for paying up my loan. I'm not giving you the bike. He was a guy, he kept on going over to him. Do you have money to pay me back? No, I don't have any money. I don't have it. So the guy came up with a trick. He's going to sell him something, pretend, and when the guy gives him the money, he chaps the money. Okay, now you pay my chayiv. That's what happened here. That's mamish this Gemara. I don't know exactly what the halacha is. Rabbi Zilberstein speaks about it once. It's a try. I have your money. Now, too bad. I'm not giving it back to you. You pay me. You want the bike? Pay me again. And now the price just went up, by the way, to 4,000. Says Gemara, so now they come to Rebavo. Omerlei, Islach Sahadi de Peratinu. He tells the Shliach that paid off the loan, do you have any Eidim? Omerlei, no Eidim. Omerlei, the guy that received the money could say, I don't know you never paid me. So now we believe them completely that there was another loan, and you just paid off the other loan. And of course, who's the name here? Avimi Bereder Rebavo, he denied that there was another loan. He says there's only one loan. That's it. Now he's out of the money, has to pay it up again. Ask the Gemara, Li'in Shalume Shliach Mai. No good deed goes unpunished. The guy, you ask a guy to do you a favor. You're going to Eretz Yisrael? Yeah. Here, take $10,000 or whatever you're allowed to bring on the plane. Take all this cash and pay up a loan. The guy says, no problem. It's hard for him. He goes, looks, knocks on the door. But because he messed up and because he didn't ask for the document back, now the guy that went on the plane, he has to pay out of his own pocket $10,000. Unbelievable. He's doing you a favor. It depends. If he was directed to pay up, to get the star first and then pay, Mishalim, he has to pay out of his own pocket the $10,000. But if he's directed, first pay, and please, after you pay, ask for the star, I trust the guy. Loy Mishalim, then he doesn't have to pay. Says the Gemara Veloihi. That's not the halacha. Look at the halacha, and there's a base here, that means the Shulchan Aruch something like this. Benkach ubenkach Mishalim. The Shliach, the guy doing a favor, gets punished. Because the sender tells him, I sent you to fix things, not to ruin it. You took my money, you threw it out in the garbage. You should have asked, you should have demanded, you should have known what you're doing. I thought you know what you're doing, and you should have known what you're doing. Memela, you have to pay me the $10,000. Unbelievable. Be very careful when you do people favors. Another story. Look at the story. They entrusted with her a bunch of stars. There was a guy that said, here, you're a trustworthy woman. Hold on to my stars. Also Yarshim, now the guy died. And all the stars are left by the woman. Also Yarshim, so the guy's kids, so they come to her and they say, listen, our father, you remember, he gave you a bunch of stars. We want them, we want to collect them. You know what? He owes me money also. So I grabbed these stars. Now what good are these stars? They have no value for her. They only have value for the Yarsha. What is she going to do with them? So Taisa says that she was just using it as blackmail. She told them, listen, I'm holding them. Either you pay me what your father owes, or I'm going to burn these stars. I'm never going to give you the stars. You want to collect $1 million in these stars? You pay me the $10,000 your father owes. That's what she was doing over here. But she wasn't going to use this star to go collect the money. Do you have proof that the guy that was mafked the stars by you, the father who died, he came one day, knocked on your door, and you said, no, I'm grabbing it? No, you don't have proof. If so, Amra lei loy. Imkein have a tfisa lachamiso. Tfisa lachamiso loy klumi. You need to prove, just because the shtar was in your possession for 10 years, doesn't mean you grabbed it. So when did she grab it? When the guy died and the Yarshim came to take it, so she grabbed it. Up until that point, it was in her bedroom somewhere in a closet. She didn't grab it unless the guy came knocking on the door when he was alive and he said, give me the shtar. And she said, no, that's a grab. But that's not what happened. So you have to prove, Rav Nachman tells her, you have to prove that you grabbed it when he was still alive. But that's not what happened. You grabbed it after he died. Too late. What happens when he dies? That moment that he dies, it goes to the Yarshim. So you don't have the right to grab it anymore. There's a woman who's chayva shvua. So the Rishonim Tazrid speaks about the shvua was a moedah b'miktsas, which is a shvua deraisa. From Rashi, it's a little bit of a problem. He says koifer. You could say that Rashi, that's what he meant also. There's another type of Rashi over here on the side that says moedah b'miktsas. Fine. Let's say it's a moedah b'miktsas. Although Rashi seems to be saying koifer hakol. But he proves, Tazrid proves that it has to be a shvua deraisa. Okay. So she's chayav a shvua because somebody came there and said, you owe $100. And she said, no, I don't owe 100, I owe 50. By the miktsas, you have to swear. She comes to Beidina de Rava. Omerle Bas Rav Chizda. So a guy in the Koil Tainas, why was the daughter of Rav Chizda there? The daughter of Rav Chizda was Rava's wife. Why was she in Bezdin? Because we learned in the beginning of Sechta that, what was her name? That Abaya's wife, what was her name? Rabbi said she was beautiful, and 3 Amoraim married her. The Katlanis, what was her name? Famous name. What? Chuma. So Chuma, thank you. Chuma came. So and then Rabbi went home to his wife. The daughter. Let me hang out in Bezdin. I think it's better if I hang out in Bezdin now. Fine. So she's in Bezdin, and she says to her husband Rava, "Yedana bo de chashuda shvu." I know this woman. She always swears falsely. So Rava went and said that the person that wants the money, he should make the shvuah, not the woman who's owed the money because she's going to be mishval sheker. Zimnin, later on, we saw that Rav Papa is a Talmud of Rava. He was sitting in front of Rava and Rav Ada Bar Masna. I know, you can trust me, the guy already paid off the shtar. Rava said, do you have another witness? No. Even though we have you, the famous Rav Papa, you are not trusted. Rav Ada Bar Masna says, Rav Ada Bar Masna was sitting there, wait a minute, you trusted the daughter of Rav Chizda, you trusted your wife, a woman, and you're not going to trust the famous Rav Papa? Says the Gemara, Bas Rav Chizda kimli begava. I know her. She doesn't lie. Marloi kimli begave. Unbelievable. I first learned it. I couldn't believe it. Rava is talking like that about Rav Papa. I did a search on Bar Ilan. Rav Papa's name comes up 1,500 times in Shas. 50. He doesn't trust Rav Papa. He trusts his wife and not Rav Papa. Until Rav Moshe Feinstein gave me a Nechama, I saw that he writes, brings this Gemara and he says, even Moshe Rabbeinu you can't trust. There's no cheskes kashrus when it comes to mamanis. I can't say, it's Moshe Rabbeinu. Will Moshe Rabbeinu lie? No. What's going on here is that Rava said, I tested her. I know she doesn't lie. I didn't test you, Rav Papa. Sorry, you're much greater than my wife. But I didn't test you. You're not greater than Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu, if he was standing here, I wouldn't be able to trust. When it comes to mamanis, I can't take it out based on what I assume. There's no assumption in mamanis. But I'm not assuming about my wife. I tested her in many different ways. She never ever lies. Ever. That person I can trust. There's so... No, I can't. So it's interesting that you bring that up. There's another Moshe in Yeridea, Chelek Aleph, Simen, I think Nun Aleph and Nun Vav, where he talks about that. Not that I'm throwing out, I just happened to come across it today, this morning, that he talks about a guy went to his daughter who's completely not religious in Russia. And he could say, I know my daughter 100% because I've been with her and I know how she acts, that she's not going to feed me treif. Very interesting thing. Okay. But we're talking about mamanis, taking money out of somebody. That's different than trusting a hechsher. Removing. I can't go to you and come to your house and take your sink out of your kitchen because I think that guy never lies. I think he's trustworthy. He's a chashav rebbe. Doesn't work like that. If I know for a fact that that person doesn't lie, Omer Apal B'Ashad, Omer Mar, Kimli B'Gavei. If no, where am I? There's such a thing that I know I tested this person, like Moshe explained so beautifully. Abba Marberi, like my son. Abba Mar, the Kimli, I know him very well. I'll take a star and rip it up. Says Gemara, when you rip up a star, you're taking away money from somebody else. Ella Mirana star I'm gonna make it shvach. I'm not gonna use it. Now, what happens is, if he goes to another bezdin and uses it, that's another story. I myself am not going to use it. He can't come to my bezdin. Okay? Says Gemara Yitzeh. This chayv shvua beidino the Rabbivi bar Abaya. There was a woman who was chayv shvua. She owed money. Omer lo ahu baldin teisi dishba b'masa. She should come. I want her to come to my city. People over there know the story, what happened. In our city, she's not going to lie. Says the Gemara, Omer lahu kisuli zachvasa. So basically what's going on here is she doesn't want to go through the whole process. You know how it is to go to court, right? It takes months and years and you come. She finally has a psak din. Now they're telling her move to another city. She doesn't want that. So she wants them to write a whole document that everything is good on condition that she makes a shvuah, everything will be fine. So they should pay me once, right? Sign a document or don't sign. There's machlekes rishonim, you sign, you don't sign. But the bottom line is, give me a document that everything is okay. I just have to make a shvuah in the other city. Okay, write it. You come from the mishpacha of Eli. Everybody dies at the age of 18. So you're talking shtusim. How does he talk like that? The Chavetz Chaim has a whole thing here, and all these gemaras, like he says, he was being melamed zchus on him. A person under a lot of duress, a person has a lot of problems in life. He's saying, listen, I understand. You have health struggles. So you made a mistake in learning. Your head is not 100% there. Okay. But remember, we learned, and this is a negeh to us, and Asher made tshuva. Even Eli, where there's a gzeir from a shamayim that also died at the age of 18, if you learn Torah, you go to 40, and if you do Torah and Chesed, you go to 60. You could break a gzar din with Torah and Chesed. If you have this document from Dayanim, which was written, like you have a form. They filled it out already before the whole Din Torah happened. Psula, it's possible. Why? Because it looks from the document that it's a lie. You didn't hear what's going on. You wrote it beforehand. So this story also, you can't write to the other bezin that she's. We found that her money's owed to her. It looks like a lie. Says the Gemara Velesa, Rav Nachman. I hate when this happens. You curse somebody out. Yeah, I'm a Haaretz. You come from Eli's mishpacha. Who are you? And then it turns out that you don't know what you're talking about. That guy was 100% right. Okay, what happened? If you found a get in what happened? You had a couple that was happily married. They're the best marriage ever. The guy is walking the street. All of a sudden, he finds a get. He looks at the get. It has his name on it. It has his wife's name on it. It has the city, everything. He says, Mamash Simon Shamayim, that should divorce my wife. He goes, honey, here's a get. What? Yeah, I found the get in the garbage, and it had our names. He said, Mamash, it's a good. No. What else is a sign? Mamash Hashgacha Pratis. All he had to do is fill out the signatures, gave it to his kosher. Why? Because you don't need lishma. The whole Masechtas Gitin he holds, you only need the shema on the signatures, not on the writing of the get. But Rabbanon will say that you need the lishma on every word. That's because we see the lishma by a get. When it comes to money, you don't have to write it. So in Mela, it's a good, and you don't say mechzik shikra, that it looks like a lie. Yosef, don't leave yet. Just listen to the first story. You'll know all three. Yeah, you can leave. Listen to the story. he lent money to a guy on Sunday, the second day of Aser Semei Tshuva, or whatever today is. It feels like a Sunday on a Thursday. And then that day he got paid back on the spot. The guy made a quick deal, he paid him back. And then he uses that same document that same day to lend money again. No, you can't use it again. Why? Why? Every star has a lien on it, has a guarantee on it. That guarantee flies out the window. But the Gemara is medayik. It's only because you ruined the guarantee. Doesn't say you shouldn't use the star because it looks like a lie. The lie part is not a problem. The problem is the shibud. So you see that you're allowed to use another star that you found, or in our case, you could pre-write the star and give it to the woman to collect money. Pay Amud Beis, sponsored in honor of my uncle Reb Elchonon Pressman as a zchus for a year filled with mazel, brach, and hatzlacha, and by another person as a zchus to continue being able to support Torah, MDY monthly, and to finish us with rebellion. Says the Gemara, here we go. 3 stories. If you know the first one, you know all 3. It's word for word, literally. Somebody lent somebody, or he deposited by his friend 7 gems. The Tzayir Bizdina, my friend Shlomi Klein, a guy came to him and said, what are you mikar of all these loser Jews? You have all these mamish nebach guys. What are you mikar of them? Shlomi had a handkerchief like this, mamish like this ma'isa with 7 jewels in them, with 7 gems. And he said, he opened it up, he says, which one is the most valuable? So the guy looks, he says, I don't know. He says, you know why you don't know? Because you're not a maven. He says, I'm not a maven in neshamas. Every neshama came from a tremendous place. I don't know neshamas. Just because they look like this, I'm a car of everybody. Here's the Tzayir Bizdina. Kibei Rabbi Yosha bar Berei de Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Rabbi Miyasha bar Berei de Rabbi Yeshua. He was mafkided by Rabbi Miyasha. Shachar Mar Miyasha. V'lei pakid. Rabbi Yosha died without leaving over a will, which is a very important thing to leave over, so that the family should know what's going on, who gets what's going where, who owns these 7 jewels. Also, two reasons, and Taisa says these 2 reasons are very important. First of all, I know it's unbelievable. In those days, they were so poor he couldn't afford 7 pearls. It's impossible. Another thing is, so it's not his. So I know that somebody was mafkided by him. The guy coming forward, he said it's in a handkerchief. He knows what's going on. So Taisa says you need both. Just the fact that he's poor doesn't mean anything. Maybe someone gave him a gift. Just the fact that he gave a simon doesn't mean anything. Maybe he was in the house somewhere. You need the 2 things together, then he could collect. It's only that the guy that gave the simon, he's not a ben bais over there. He doesn't go in and out of that house. He doesn't know what the jewels look like. But if he's used to going in and out, maybe somebody else deposited there and he saw it. Says the Gemara, the same exact story, word for word, minus what it was. There was a silver cup, bechasa, and he gave it to chasa. Shachav chasa. Rashi says this is the famous chasa that we learned about, that he drowned in Mesechtes Yivamis, and over there, Rav Nachman said about him, "Oi, chasa drowned. The fish probably ate him." And then the wife went and got married based on the fact that the fish ate him. V'loi pocket. So the Chassam Sofer brings over here the reason why Rashi says that he drowned is to explain why he didn't write a tzava. Usually you have to write something. He didn't write who the becher is owned by. I know that he's very poor. And the guy gave a simon on the becher. It's dented over here. The staff. It's only because the guy doesn't go in and out of the house. Somebody else gave the becher and he saw it. Somebody deposited clothing. Rav Dimi was nifter without giving over a will. He went to Rabbi. First of all, I know that he's poor. The guy gave a simon. It's only because.
Don't do this on 2 speed, please.
It's only because the guy never went into the house. If he's been biased over there, somebody else deposited. Now a new story. A guy says straight out, all my nechasim go to Tuvia. Tuvia is a famous guy in Monsey. There's a lot of Tuvias in Monsey. So who did it go to? Shachiv, he dies. Also Tuvia. Tuvia shows up. Shalom Aleichem. I'm Tuvia. I want the $10 million. Oh, he probably knew about this will. So he's a Ben Bais over there. Give it to him. Omer Tuvia. V'asa Rav Tuvia. What if he said, I'm giving it to Tuvia, but then Rav Tuvia shows up? L'Tuvia Amar. L'Rav Tuvia Lo Amar. No, he didn't say with the Rav, with the Hagdama. V'inish the Gosbei Hagazbei. If he knows him and they're friendly, so okay, so Mela, he gives it to him. Also, Shnei Tuvia, if two Tuvias show up, Shachim and Talmud Chacham. This I thought was fascinating because you wouldn't think this. You have a neighbor, you're best friends with your neighbor, and then you have a Talmud Chacham that lives down the block. Who does he want to give the money to? Talmud Chacham Kaidem. Why? So look at Rashi. Rashi says it beautiful. The mistama, you see Rashi Talmud Chacham Kaidem. The mistama automatic massive l'zakis b'shas misa. When a person dies, what is he thinking about? He's not thinking about money. He's thinking about getting more zchus in olam ha'emes. Damar mar kol hanavim lo nisnabu elo lemahanet tamid chacham min achasav. Giving your will, you want to give in your will to tamid chachamim. That's also a great idea. You could give in your will. There's a lot. I know that from the 15,000 people that are watching, there's going to be big millionaires. Put in your will, MDY. They do this in Chicago, the JUF. They have hundreds of millions of dollars that unfortunately is mostly from the Freya Olam, but they give hundreds of JUF. People they go after the wills. $100 million. You give me $5 million, I promise you, I'll give every penny towards Torah. Every penny, I'll make sure myself. Okay, watch, we're going to get a couple $1 million today. Yeshua is all excited about that. Yeshua, you'll help us. Fine, next. So you hear what Rashi says, before you die, you put in your will to give it to Talmid Chachamim. Ibaylu, we're almost finished. Shachem Ekarev Mai, we started very late, that's why we're going late. Ibaylu, Shachem Ekarev Mai, who's first? A neighbor or a relative? Tashma, this is also fascinating. Toiv Shachem Ekarev Ma'achrachai. You prefer your neighbor who lives closely and you're friendly with than from a distant brother. Shneim Krevim, Shneim Shchenim. What if they're equal? They're both relatives, two tuvias that are both neighbors. Ushneim Chachamim, and they're both Chachamim. Shuda the Daina. What Shuda the Daina? So Rashi says Shuda the Daina means whatever the Dayan thinks in his mind that the guy wanted to give. He has to make his own svara. Oh, he's a little nicer. This guy's a little bit more of a Talmud Chacham. Taisus says, fascinating. All over Shas we have this machlekes Rashi and Taisus. Shuda the Daina means whoever the Dayan feels like, without any svara. I like that guy, I'm giving it to that guy. Shuda the Daina. Fine, we'll stop right over here. Have a wonderful day. Yishkoyach Tiskil Mitzvahs. Welcome.